Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. And as you might be able to see, today is day 23, but I'm also not wearing any makeup because I'm gonna do my makeup on camera. So we're gonna do sort of a get ready with me. I hope you'll like this style. I'm not gonna do this every day, but I like, during the Christmas days, switching it up a bit. So I'm going to start with my e.l.f. Puff Buff Primer, and I'm going to mix that in with a little bit of the Bondi Sands SPF. And then I'm going to mix it, and it looks really gross. That's what it looks like. And I'm going to put that on my face. It's quite a thick layer, but that's the e.l.f. Puff Buff Primer. That feels a little bit thick, but it does pull into the skin nicely. The Bondi Sands product is not my favorite, but we're making it work, I think. So I also did a little bit on my neck. Yes. So that's primer done. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going in with concealer. I'm using the W7 HD concealer right there. There and on all the red places. I always like to do a little highlight action with this and around the nose. So that is where the concealer is. Oh, and a little bit there. I like that as well. This is what we look like. Great. And what I always do is I take a setting spray or like a hydrating mist, and I'm spraying my face, and then I'm blending out my concealer so that we have a little bit of that hydrating, like smoothing situation going on. Today I think I'm actually gonna wear a foundation, which I haven't done in like a few days. I've used like a foundation like 2 days back, I think, but before that I hadn't used a foundation in like a proper 3 weeks. Like currently I'm mostly wearing concealer and leaving it at that. I'm going to put on a little bit more of this spray on my forehead because my concealer tends to like cake a little bit on those spaces. So that is what we normally would stop and like blend it out a little bit much and more, and then put on some powder. Sometimes I just can't speak, but today we're gonna put on this Shiseido Single Skin Self-Refreshing Cushion Foundation in the shade 140 Porcelain. Oh, it's been on its side. So now it's literally everywhere. Oh my god. Way too much. And this is so expensive. I don't want to have way too much on. This is a beautiful, beautiful foundation that really brings everything like you put on for together. It really gives this beautiful, beautiful even look. I did put on way too much today. I can really see that. Maybe it's gonna be even like not as beautiful because I put on too much, but it's a really, really beautiful product. I enjoy it a lot. It is crazy expensive, like unnecessary expensive. However, I get it. I kind of get it because it is really gorgeous, and when I want my skin to look great and I don't want to, like, I can't I'm trying to think of a situation where I just want my skin to look really great. I don't have time and like space to try out new things. I just want it to be good. That's like a good stable look. Then this is something I definitely reach for because it always looks good. I don't need to powder this as much as I normally do, but I am going to put on some powder because my makeup, like I have a very weird kind of skin because my skin is very dry, but also it will crease like very much. So I don't know why that is. I mean, I'm not that old yet, but that's why I always will set my face with powder at least a bit. So, but we're not going to do too much today. We're going to lightly dust it over instead of, you know, packing it on, which I normally do. For that, we use the Catrice All Matte Shine Control Banana Powder in shade, what is this? Banana Bright. And then we're going to go into our bronzer, which is the E.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer. I'm just putting that on this big fan brush. That's the way I like to apply bronzer. I'm just going to put it right there and then blend it out. Place it and blend it. Right now it looks very heavy, but we're going to blend blush into it and then it's going to be a lot less obvious. Same on the other side. Place it and then blend it. I'm also going to do a little bit of a nose bronzer, so like right on the sides of the nose and the bottom, just to give it a little bit of that more shape and a little bit more of that definition. And now I'm going to do the sides of the face and a little bit on the forehead. So not as much on the brush as before, but just like a little bit. That's nice. You can see that it gives a little bit of depth to the skin on the sides of the face, where normally, you know, you would have shadow as well. And when you put on like a foundation or something, you take a bit of that shadow away, and what you're doing with bronzer is putting that shadow back. So, you know, like makeup sometimes is taken away and then building back up, but like in a different way. So that is bronzer done, I think. Don't want to do too much because I have like a imperfection right there, and most of the time the case with those is the more you do, the worse it's looking. So now I'm going to use this Estee Lauder compact blush palette. I'm actually almost done with this one. I'm very actively trying to use that up. That's why I'm using these colors, which I think are more like summer, spring colors in winter. You can see I only have that one left a bit. But that's why it's such a heavy, like, blush color. That wouldn't be something that I'd normally wear in this kind of season. I'm also putting a bit on my nose. And what I'm going to do now, because you can see it's like very heavy, is I'm going to blend that out with my bronzer brush, which is also going to make it look a little bit more airbrushed and make it go seamless. That's the word I was looking for. And then I'm going to go over with my normal powder brush. Okay, this shade is a lot more heavy than the shade that I used up yesterday. I think it's nice. Okay, this is okay. Is it the best thing ever? No. Is it the worst thing ever? Not either. So this is that. And then we need to do highlighter. So we're still in the middle of using things up. This is the Maybelline Masterchrome highlighter that we're trying to use up. It's in Sandstone Shimmer. And I'm just going to place that right there. It's a very beautiful highlight. It's actually slightly too dark for me in this season, so we'll leave a tiny bit of gray cast. But I just wanted to use it up so badly that I was like, I don't care. We're going to keep on using it, because I have had that product in my project pan for like over 1.5 years. And like I've used this since like May every single day of my life. And, well, okay, not every single day, but like 95% of the time I was wearing makeup, I was wearing this, but most of the time, and this is the Freedom highlighter, Freedom Makeup highlighter in diffused. This brand hasn't existed for like the past 3 years, which is why I wanted to use it up at first. But this has been in my clutter free, like in my what are you called? Project pan for even longer, because this has literally been in here for like 2 full years or something like that. Super long, and it annoys me because at this point I just want to use it up, and it's almost used up. Like, look, you can see the pan almost everywhere except for there. And this is also obviously has a big pan, but it's still not used up. Okay, now what are we gonna do now? We need to do some eyeshadow, some brows, and some lips. Sorry. For eyeshadow, what do I want to do? I kind of want to use my rose quartz palette, but I'm gonna see how much time I still have left. Okay, we can do that. We're gonna do a eyeshadow look with the rose quartz palette by Huda Beauty. Ooh, exciting. So that's what we're going to do. Why did I, oh my god, I couldn't close my makeup bag. I was like, why can't I close my makeup bag? But I put the entire fixing spray in there. So today we're gonna play with the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz palette, as you might have been able to tell from the title. And I really love the Naughty Nude palette that I have from Huda Beauty. I really like the Amethyst Obsessions and the Jaguar palette, Wild Jaguar. I don't like the Mercury Retrograde. I actually declutter that. So, you know, there's a big chance that I love this, but there is still a chance that I don't like this at all, since I didn't really like that one. Although I do have to say, the Mercury Retrograde, why can't I say that? I really expected to like, because I love a good colorful shadow, but the color story just wasn't for me. And then there were all kinds of formulas that like didn't make sense to me. It was just like a palette that didn't really make sense to me. It was not a palette that I thought was ugly or bad quality. It was just like not my kind of palette. I think that's more so what was going on than anything else. It was just a palette that I never reached for, and when I reached for it, I made beautiful looks, but I almost always made exactly the same kind of looks. Like, it wasn't just like, it wasn't inspiring to me. Let's just put it like that. So I just primed my eyes with the Catrice Camouflage Cream Concealer. I kind of want to do brows first, because brows are something. Brows and liners are, in my opinion, the hardest category of makeup to do, because, you know, first of all, like, eyeshadow obviously also can be difficult, but you can blend eyeshadow, you can take eyeshadow off, apply it again. But liner, if you have your eyeshadow done and it looks good and everything is great, and then you put on liner and you ruin it, that's so annoying. And like, liner, to get that even on both eyes is also like next level, like hard. And this is the same thing with brows. Like, if you really ruin your brows, you're gonna have to take off everything, because your foundation is gonna come off. And, you know, doing one brow is fine and doing the other is also fine, but making them even, like, this brow looks fine, this brow also looks fine, but like, they don't look the same, and that is what the problem is. And then they don't want to like layer the same and have the same angle. And the thing is, your brows are also uneven, so how can you make them even? By the way, I was using the MUA Brow Define eyebrow pencil, and now I'm using the MUA Brow Define Micro Precision eyeshadow pencil. And what I'm doing is I'm just putting, like, this is more precise and more thin point, and I thought maybe I could fix things with that, but apparently I can't. So it's only getting worse. see. Okay, okay, that's quite even. It's very like towards the middle, but okay. Okay, we're done with that. And then we're gonna do some eyeshadow. We're gonna get that creasing gone. And I'm gonna start with the shade Cherished, a light pinky shade. That's pretty. You know, also, like, most of the looks turn out good. I know how to do my own makeup, but that doesn't mean that all palettes are the best at quality. But this is, I was, like, talking about the whole 31 days, not necessarily Huda Beauty, because I like their formula a lot. I think it's super expensive, but I also think it's very good. Now I'm going into the shade Serenity. Like, the camera is like at another angle, and now I really have to look at not having the mirror in front of my eyes the entire time. This is what I'm applying. Also quite high. Blending it quite high so that we have that purplish shade all over the lid. Now, what do we want to do? I'm going to go into Precious, which is more of a gray shade, and I'm going to apply that a little bit more towards the lash line, but still not like, the crease line, but still not like totally in the crease. I'm just wanting to blend that out first. This is what I like about Huda Beauty eyeshadows. You can't really go wrong with them because the mattes are so blendable that you can always fix if you did something wrong. Going back into that lightest shade called Cherished and kind of blending the edges. This is what we have so far. Now I'm going to take my brush sideways and put it into Mantra, which is the darkest shade, and apply that like really right there into the crease. Do the same on the other eye. And then I'm going to blend that out slightly onto the upper part of the eye, but not fully. And then I'm going to take the shade Precious again, and I'm just going to let that shade help me blend. That is what we're going to do. We're almost there when it comes to the blending. That's really pretty, actually. That is really, really pretty. It's a little bit less, like, we need to make it even a teensy bit. Okay, that is what that looks like. Really, really beautiful. I like it a lot so far. It's like nice and grayish, pinkish situation. Now what I'm going to do is put on some shimmers, glitters, whatever. And let's see, you also have some nice brown tones in here, so you could definitely do like a neutral brown, like not too cool toned. You have like your neutral browns as well. That's what I saw when I like opened up this palette today, because I was like, okay, it only has pinks and grays, but it doesn't really, because right here, cover up the mirror, these three shades are quite neutral, and especially when you use it like with that. So I'm actually quite curious, but today I'm going to use the shade Empowered. Everywhere on the lid, that's what that looks like. It's a dark, like purpley blue black gray shade. I don't know how to describe that, but it's pretty though. It's my type of shade. That's beautiful. And then I'm going to take the shade Cosmic Love, which is one of those like shifty shades, and I'm gonna put that in the inner part of the eye, and put it like right there. That's beautiful. That is stunning. Okay, we're gonna clean off my fingers. We're almost done. What I want to do is take a smaller brush, and I want to take the shade Magic Moon, which is a pinky shifty shade, and put that in the inner corner. That's what that looks like. That's very pretty. Oh, no, 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 no. Too much came off. So like we're gonna put that right there in a corner. Okay, we took a little bit too much, but now we have to make it even. Okay, and now we're gonna put a little bit in the inner corner and the lower lash line. I hope it's not gonna flake into my eyes. Sorry I was looking down, but I kind of ruined it, so I had to really do some damage management. Do I want to put anything on the lower lash line? I'm gonna take the shade Self Love and see how that looks. Oh, that's a nice like light shade. Okay. Okay. This is the finished look. I'm gonna put on some mascara and then some lips, and then we're gonna quickly round up talking about this palette and get to going because I have places to be. Okay, that's 1. This is 2. Okay, could I have done a better job personally with this palette? Definitely. It isn't the best blend I've ever did. It isn't the best like application I ever did, but do I really like the palette and the look and everything that came out of this palette? Definitely. I really like it a lot. First of all, packaging, gorgeous. Second of all, color story, totally up my alley. And look at this look. How gorgeous is that? I'm super excited for this look. I'm very happy that this is what we have on today. To finish it off, I'm going to take a little gloss. This is the ArtDeco Hydrating Hydra Lip Booster. This for me is on a chopping block. I want to see how I like it and how I use it. And that's it. I think a lighter lip is good with this palette because it's quite impactful. So this is the total look done. I'm gonna quickly round this up. Pretty palette, pretty shades, pretty color story. If you like this color story, I do really personally love the Huda Beauty formula. If this color story is not up your alley, then I don't think you should spend that kind of money because it's very expensive. But if you do like this color story, if you like the Huda Beauty formula, or if you want to try it, I definitely recommend this palette to you. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!